We don't have to appear, we don't have to do anything. Come over and help me write some questions. Little did I know that would take 10 years. But anyway, of course, because it was an important thing, somehow or other we ended up getting to know the chairman and the chief engineers and everything at Conowingo and at Philadelphia Electric. And we used to go to the 23rd floor when we went up there to meet with the brass. And strange as it may seem, they didn't know our names. After months, they still didn't know our names. And they would make us big statements like, we gotta have dither and chip at the hearing, all the time. That's how we spent 10 years in DC. They didn't know who we were, but they know they wanted us there. And that's how that worked out. And I've always got a kick out of the fact that we were dither and chip. So I'll pass it off to somebody else.
One of my favorite stories, I think it's true, is about Skip. As Paul mentioned, Dilip mentioned, everybody seemed to have been fired by Rainey. I came in after Rainey, so I've heard a lot of stories but never knew him. Skip had the notoriety of being fired and hired twice in the same day.
Right.
A lot of what I've become, I'm going to get emotional too. I don't know what, the last few years I've become this way, I don't know why. It's due to him.
Old age.
Yeah. All right. Dilip mentioned the 3-month deal, Paul mentioned the 2-month deal. I came in 1983 as a 3-month temporary. I had been in graduate school, hadn't finished my thesis, and was out of money, so I came to work at the Conowingo Lift for 3 months. Plan was go back to school, finish my thesis. So that 3 months turned into almost 36 years. A lot of it, excuse me, a lot is because of him. So, thank you, Dilip.
Thank you. Who else? Al, okay.
I was forced into this.
No coercion here, so.
Hi, my name is Al Ryan, and I was hoping I would wait till everybody who knew Dilip for a long time had spoken before I sort of grabbed the mic, but I'm not waiting any longer. I've known Dilip for about 21 years, and I've learned a great deal from him. I'm a lawyer now, but when I first met Dilip, I had just been assigned as Exelon's environmental lawyer to work on Conowingo Dam and Muddy Run. And so I went down for a meeting, my first week on the job here, and I met this guy. And we all had a meeting, a big group of us, and after it was over, Dilip pulled me aside and said, "You're the first lawyer I met who knew what PH stood for." I had an immediate bond with him from then on. Later I told him, "Look, Dilip, I've got a degree in biological sciences, and I just picked up this law thing as a hobby because it paid bills." So a little while later, at another meeting down at Conowingo, and I was trying to get a little closer to Dilip. In the meantime, I'd heard all these stories about his publications and everything. And over the course of time, he would mention something that was already written about and that we were haggling over, trying to figure out. And I'd ignore it. And after a while, I go back and I dig out, research the paper. And sure enough, he was right. He's always right. Very exasperating. And because of him, I've met a lot, like tonight, for example. I had a lot of correspondence with people over time that, as a lawyer, you write people, you send them letters, emails, talk on the phone, but you never meet them in person. I'm glad to see that I can finally put a face to Dave Ellenberg. But one more thing before I go. Before I went to Exelon, I practiced about 20 years or so in the state of Illinois. I was with the government there. One of my clients was another government person with the Illinois' version of DEP. And we became fast friends, we became golfing buddies, and spent time together and parties and weddings and stuff. And so I came back, had this meeting with Dilip, and I said, I got a friend in Illinois that I golf with a lot, and he's got the same last name, and he's from India. I know there's 1 billion or so people there. I said, you wouldn't happen to know this fellow Bharat Mandarin? He said, yeah, he's my, cousin or something like that? And I said, well, then I guess we're going to have to become golfing buddies. He never did take it up. Aside from that, I learned everything that I know about fish people and fish. And when I get a load of gizzard shad, I'm going to make sure that they're dumped right on your front steps.
I am Rob Bly. I did not work at Muddy Run. However, I worked at Ichthyological Associates and its successors for a long time, 42 years I think. Started in '72, and of course I met Dilip shortly after I started there. I worked in Pottstown on Limerick Generating Station, and I am not a fisheries biologist, although they made me do fisheries work for years and years and years. I'm a wildlife biologist. In any case, I got to know Dilip well in Montana at an AFS meeting. And I cannot tell the stories over which I got to know Dilip well because that would be inappropriate, but we had a great time. And we've become fast friends ever since. I am one of the several people in the room who had the honor of having my picture on a dartboard at Muddy Run. Because at one point in time I became a VP and I was in charge of Muddy Run and other places, and anyone that was in charge at Muddy Run above the level at Muddy Run got the picture on a dartboard. And someone told me that when they got rid of my picture and put the next one, I don't know who the next one was, that they shot me with a shotgun. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's entirely possible. In any case, we became, Dilip and I and our wives and other people became friends. We did a retreat in Florida, remember that, Dilip? And moved through several... Key Largo, several iterations of ownership, and survived all those folks, starting with Dr. Rainey and Canberra, and then Normando. I had the presence of mind to retire 6 years ago after 42 years of service. Dilip had more get up and go. He stayed for 42 years. In any case, Dilip was an inspiration as a scientist and as a leader and as a friend for all those years. Thank you, Dilip.
Anybody else? Yeah, sure, yes. Do you need help? Hey, Frank. She could probably use help.
Brian's got it.
Oh.
Okay.
Is it a dartboard with the leaves?
Dilip, while you're opening that, I'll explain. There were several people in our corporate office that were invited to be here this evening to do this presentation, but they all have college graduates and high school graduates and graduation, and so they couldn't make it. So I got elected to do this. I'm sorry, I don't look like Kurt Falcon. I don't look like Pam Hall, but you just got me to leave, but,
We don't need command.
no. This is a gift, a corporate gift to you from Norma Doe Associates. That's
Thank you.
Chickies Rock and Susquehanna River.
Thank you.
Now, I have another presentation I would like to do as well.
Take them a little load here today.
It's heavy.
Can I open it?
Yep. Anita and I were talking one day and I said, gosh, people here in the office are asking what we can do for Dilip. Knowing that he's not much of a gift kind of person, but I got to thinking about it and we were talking and I said to Anita, I said, well, we'll have to think about what we can do. And I came up with this scrapbook idea, 51 years worth of pictures is in that scrapbook. Dilip, it goes way back from the beginning up until the current time. So enjoy it. Yeah, the front page says the man. It's his picture and it says the man. So sometime when you need something to do, look through that picture, the pictures. I think you'll be
I
surprised.
even got my high school picture here.
His high school picture's even in there. That's what he gets for letting it lay around in his office.
Thank you very
Yep,
much.
you're welcome. Enjoy it.
For those who want to see my office. See it that way.
Yeah, the real question is, what's going to happen to all the stuff in your office?
You really don't want to know.
I don't want to know right now. A library, yes, that's one word for it.
This is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Would anybody else like to say a few words? Oh, George is going to go.
Together.
Thank you, dear. Well, I'm George Nardesi. I started Money Run in 1971, before Dilip was back from off. So when I started, he wasn't around. I got my indoctrination. Mr. Heisey, several other people that were there. Close my mouth? Okay. About the time Dilip got back, we were well into doing pre-operational studies for the Beach Bottom nuclear plant. Several people got assigned to various topics. Mr. Houston back there did food habit studies for years. Mr. Heisey, agent growth. Myself, for some reason, I got stuck with fecundity, fish, counting fish eggs for white crappie. I had to write a report that was going to go into the document. Well, at that time, everything was handwritten, nothing was typed, because we had secretaries do that. So I wrote my report, handed it to Dilip, had it back. I didn't recognize the thing at all. Dilip had a way of saying things that was totally different from mine. If I had a whole sentence that was there, I was happy. Over the years, I got a little bit better, mainly through his help. I don't think I'm a great writer, but he certainly helped me along. Along those lines, years later, Dilip and I had the opportunity on 2 occasions to be sequestered for weeks on end, putting together a proposal for the Army Corps of Engineers. Those experiences were done at the Pottstown plant, Pottstown's lab. Thank you, Rob, for providing the room. But I enjoyed those particular times. They were interesting. We worked with a lot of very good people. And over the years, I've certainly enjoyed my opportunity to work with Dilip. He's a great friend and certainly a great inspiration. And hopefully, you have many more years to enjoy your retirement. Thank you. Thank you, dear.
I'm Ray Blystein. I'm now the lab manager at Drummoor. One thing I want to just say is that you've heard everybody talk already. This is more than a company. Our lab has been a family for many years. And hopefully, as we go on, I can continue that tradition of bringing in good people, keeping things going. Dilip, you have been more than an inspiration. You've been a teacher. One thing I will never forget, and I keep telling this to the other members of our staff now, is when you do your study, know your data. I will never forget that, because the more I enter into the discussions with Exxon and other companies, especially with licensing, we're always going to be questioned. And the more we know, the better it is, the better it is to deal with. And you have taught me that all these years. Don't be afraid to know your data, because then you have nothing to worry about. So, as I said, hopefully we can carry on this facility as you have, and that's my goal, just try to keep it that way. Thank you.
Thanks.
A few more? Oh, yes. Oh, I could have brought the microphone to you.
I'm Sue Ellenberg, and I was hired as a temporary, full-time summer employee to work on programs between RMC at the time and Pico Energy at Money Run. Shotty Durr at the time had graduated from college. Bob Shutsky and Ann Kotkis were working at Money Run, and they wanted an educator to come in. Now, my background is education. My science background is about this much compared to everything that's in here. So I went in with people who I was told to shadow Ann Kotkis, who I have learned to admire greatly, because he knew if there was such thing as I had to go on subsistence living, Ann was going to be my partner. You know, that dill or that garlic, every time he picked it out of the field, it was always offered. We learned to make all kinds of Kool-Aid, sassafras, this and all that different stuff. I came in with this much knowledge, and after I left on my temporary summer full-time job, I have an enormous admiration for all of you here. At the end of the summer, the first summer I was there, the guys had me down on the river. Okay, we're going to teach this girl She's finished the summer with us. She made it through the summer. I learned an enormous amount of information. I loved it. These guys were very patient with me. We got down to the shad trap. I learned everything I could possibly learn. But the last day, they were down on the river, and they said, "Sue, you're going over." And I said, "I'm not a real good swimmer. You're going over." So I eventually went overboard, and that's when I knew, Dilip, your employees were definitely the caliber that you are. And your legacy is all of these guys and gals in here who are carrying your passion forward. So thank you for letting me be a teeny tiny part of it.
Actually,
What? Battery ran out.
yeah, I think that's what happened, actually. Yeah.
Speak well.
We're back on.
Yeah, we have a gift for you. It's an auspicious gift. This is actually handmade by my brother Steve.
Wow.
He wasn't able to make it to deliver it himself, so.
Very nice.
So it befits you more than that aluminum piece of crap you
Much better. I can use it both hands.
It's better for whacking people too.
All right, is anybody else? Okay. Oh,
I gotta say one more thing.
one more thing.
After working at Muddy Run between 71 and 75, I had the opportunity to transfer to 3 Mile Island. As manager of 3 Mile Island, I worked there for a number of years until contract ran out. At that particular time, Dr. Rainey said, "Sorry, we don't have any other work for you. I got to lay off all my staff. I didn't have a job. I decided to come back to Muddy Run on my hands and knees, and Dilip was kind enough to offer me a job at Muddy Run. Slightly less than what I was making, but I was only too happy to continue in the field that I had the most experience in. So I'm indebted to Dilip to actually offer me the job, working there for a while. Suddenly I became manager there, managed that for 20 years before I had enough. That was not enough of Dilip, just enough of the job. So I thank Dilip for at least offering to extend my career, which he didn't really have to do at the time, but he was kind enough to do that. I appreciate it.
Okay. If there's no one else, I think we will wrap things up, and I want to say on behalf of our family how grateful we are for all your stories and all your very kind words about our dad, because it's, you know, you grow up and he's our dad, and it's really meaningful and very rewarding to hear about him through your eyes, and it's a very special thing, I think, for all of us. So I know we're very appreciative of the time that you've taken, and actually over the past 52 years, how much you've taken care of my dad. You've poured yourselves into him and looked to him as a leader, and that, I think, has fueled a lot of his energy and his focus throughout these last 52 years. So we're very grateful to you all. And we want to thank you so much again for coming here. You've come from near and very far, I know, and we're very touched that you've taken this sort of time out of your lives to honor our dad in this way. So thank you so much. Please feel free to stay. We have an open bar through till 8 o'clock tonight, so, you know, knock yourselves out. We also have the, not really, we also have the photo booth is open till about 7. So if you have an opportunity to please get your picture taken in the photo booth, and then you can write a little note to Dad that we'll be able to keep as a memento for this evening. We'd really appreciate if you take that opportunity. And, oh, great idea. If everyone of Dad's coworkers, present and past, could come up here, we'd like a picture, actually, with Dad. I think that's a great idea. Yes, thank you. Come on up.